hit up some other news, and then we're going to go to Chris, Mark, and others in this final segment. It's the Alex Jones Show. I really wanted to report on this just because I don't know what to make of it. That's right, I don't know what to make of it. Iran defuses homemade bomb on plane. Security personnel defused a homemade bomb found on an aircraft during a domestic flight in Iran late Saturday. Iranian media said 2 days after a mosque bombing killed 25 people in the country's southeast. The incident occurred less than 2 weeks before the Islamic Republic holds a presidential election in which conservative incumbent Mahmoud Ahmadinejad faces a challenge from reformers. The enemies want to create a security threat environment before the country's presidential election and to create hopelessness among the people. The official IRNA news agency quoted Mahmoud Hassan Kazemi, a commander in the elite Revolutionary Guard in charge of aviation security, as saying, the semi-official Fars news agency, what's this? It kind of goes off. The plot was unsuccessful due to the security forces' awareness, and those behind it were arrested. So I want to see where that goes. I haven't heard about it much in the Western media. Definitely worth looking into. Extra U.S. troops in Afghanistan by mid-July. That's right, you thought we were getting out of the war in the Middle East? That is a big joke. I mean, it's a real sick joke. It's not very funny. But if you thought that Obama was going to get us out of the war, you were sadly mistaken. Remember back in 2006, the Democrats won Congress. They were going to save us. That's right, they were going to save us. Oh, Nancy Pelosi was going to come in with the rest of them. We were going to get out of the war. And then that didn't happen. Then Barack Obama came in and he said, don't worry, we have a plan. I'm going to save you. We're going to get out of the war. Well, now they're sending even more troops into Afghanistan. It says 17,000 extra troops are being sent to fight a growing Taliban-led insurgency. Oh, we have new Taliban insurgents, more Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. We are so gullible, folks. Notice we're not hearing about the insurgents in Iraq anymore. Now they're in Afghanistan. It's made up. It's fairy tales. These insurgents are people who are sick of the military killing and raping their women. As the videos and photographs show at the detention centers in Guantanamo Bay and in Iraq. That's what's happening. Put the big boy pants on. Realize the truth. Remember, according to Barack Obama's official plan now, we're going to have combat troops in Iraq till the end of 2011, December 2011. But then when the combat troops leave, we're still going to have 50,000 non-combat troops there, which is a joke because there's no such thing as a non-combat troop. They're in the military. They have a weapon. Guess what? They can shoot somebody. They're a combat troop. And we'll be lucky if it's down to 50,000 by then. They want to expand this war. They want this Eurasian Union to accompany their European Union and their emerging North American Union for their new world order. It comes out of their mouth so frequently, I don't understand when I say it. It's made up. It doesn't exist. You're a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist, Jason. But when someone like Gordon Brown says it at the G20 on a global stage, yes, yes, oh, we love you, Gordon, yes, yes. All right, let's go to some callers. Let's take Chris in Kentucky. Chris, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason, how you doing?
Good.
Thanks for taking my call. Here in Louisville, Kentucky, it's getting worse with this Kentucky Derby issue. I mean, we're seeing more and more military every year. Mm-hmm. And the news media propagands how safe the military and the police, with the Louisville Police Department, are just keeping us safe out here. And they just do these little show babes out on air saying, oh, isn't this wonderful? I just tell you, where is the minds of these people? They don't realize what they're getting into. And I want to also bring up something else about the cell phones. Mm-hmm. The cell phone tapping, Alex is absolutely right. If we go to war, look how many young people have cell phones. They're going to be tracked for a draft. They're going to be tracked everywhere and followed until you go to war. Don't they realize what's coming?
People are just blind, man. They think that their iPhone applications are the coolest thing in the world, so they're just ready to give it up, give it all up. But they don't understand that, listen, not only does it track and trace you, now a lot of local news agencies are picking up on the fact that if you turn your phone off, they can still tap into it and get the sound from it. So you're talking in a conversation, your phone's not even on. It can be used to listen into what you're doing. You have to take the battery out. If we had more time, we would be playing one of those clips. I thank you for the call, Chris. Let's jump to Mark in Florida. Mark, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Jason?
Good.
Good. I just wanted to talk to Alex and you about this fella, Kevin Trudeau. Mm-hmm. I'm not really very impressed with him at all. and I know that everybody has their freedom of speech. You know.
Well, what specifically do you think is wrong with Mr. Trudeau?
Well, all I know is that my wife went off her meds and she died, and by next to her bed was one of his books.
Now, what was the condition of your wife?
What?
What was the condition of your wife? In other words, what was she taking meds for?
She was real sick, and she was on a bunch of meds that we had put her on, and they were making her really sick and made her feel really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And she just felt like she had to go. You know, I think that was the impetus.
So, what was the underlying condition that this woman had that she was on all these medications, sir?
Well, she had. That's another story. It might take a little while, but she had pulmonary hypertension. Mm-hmm. She never smoked a cigarette in her life, mm-hmm. but she had autoimmune disorders, which may have stemmed from Henry Kissinger making sure that her class in college got injections with a particular flu type of vaccine.
Well, there's no doubt that Kissinger is one of their lead eugenicists, one of the guys that really puts it on paper, a huge think tanker for the elite, if you will, and I thank you for the call. But, you know, I've read the Natural Cures book, not the whole thing, but now that it's in the office, I've been going through it, and it really does have some of the simplest, best ways for you to stay healthy. Now, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what your wife's conditions were. I don't know what pills she was on, what kind of medications. I'm not anti every kind of medication out there. However, when you put your kids on Ritalin, what are you thinking? I had to watch this commercial for Ambien CR yet again last night, where literally for 45 seconds they talked about the side effects of suicide and depression and, you may be sleep driving and paranoia, all these crazy things, and they could only pitch the drug for 15 seconds. So, the modern day pharmaceutical industry, in my eyes, are no angels. And, whether Trudeau is or not, I really do like some of his information. And I don't know if you can necessarily blame Kevin Trudeau for your wife's death, sir. But again, you're entitled to your opinion. We thank you for the call. Let's go to Rob in British Columbia. Rob, you're on the line.
Yeah, hey, Jason, how are you?
Good.
Listen, I woke up probably about 4 years ago to all of this, and thanks to you and Alex and everything, it's all starting to make a lot of sense. My father's in finance, and those people in that generation still don't get it. They still deny all this is going on. But I see the Canadian dollar really rallying right now, and against the U.S. dollar, which is finally showing that the U.S. dollar is fiat currency. It's got nothing behind it.
What's the rate right now? What's the exchange rate?
Well, it's about 90 cents Canadian to the U.S. So, Canadians, we're doing really well, but our finance minister is saying he's really worried about it, and everyone's worried about it. I send money out of the country all the time, and it's good for me, but this is really going to show, I think, that your dollar's going to collapse really soon. This is the Amero coming in. The one thing is I read about it's going to take a while to get enough currency in circulation to cover America, Canada, and Mexico.
Well, I agree, but I think with a collapse, it's going to be a lot easier for them to bring in, I would say, international law and really take away the sovereignty of the United States. Again, amalgamate our laws with that of Canada and Mexico, and it's already happened to a certain extent with the passage of NAFTA and CAFTA. But with this new judge, Sotomayor, I mean, she's totally pro-North American Union, totally pro-SPP. You can tell by her positions in La Raza, you can tell by her statements, and you can tell that she's a team player because she's so anti-gun, and I think she's going to put a nice face on this for the American people. And, a lot of people are talking about this imminent crash of the dollar. I mean, we had Lindsey Williams on about 2 or 3 months ago. He said it was going to happen in about 2 months. I don't think it's been quite 3 months since I've had Lindsey, so he may be spot on the timing. We had Bob Chapman on the program on Friday, and he expects the complete collapse of the dollar in the next 4 to 5 months. Well, I don't know if this is true, but I do know that gold and silver are booming right now, especially gold. And, precious metals are the way to go if you actually want to have inherent wealth. In other words, you want to get past this. You want to have something that's worth an actual value after they crash the dollar. You want to be able to get out of the country. You want to be able to feed your family. Now's the time to invest in gold and silver. MidasResources.com. You got anything else for me, Rob?
The fact that, even if the Amero does come in, everyone's talking now about going past it to the whole cashless society. I mean, we might not even need to have the Amero. It's just going to be, everyone's got to take their cell phone. They buy everything that.
Sir. Folks, the bottom line is right now, the economy is going to hell in a handbasket, and they can call it a recession Folks have already been on TV saying this is the worst economic depression since the Great Depression back in the late 20s. And that is the truth. And it's only going to get worse. You ain't seen nothing yet. And that's why they built this infrastructure with the GIVE Act. That's why City Year is out ready to pledge on September 11th to join us because we want change. Join Gandhi. Join Mother Teresa. Join Lord Obama. We shall make the world a better place. The new world order, that is. It's the Alex Jones Show. Back tomorrow, 11 to 3 over at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv.